Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Arlo Syre, and make sure to find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, and on Twitter, and leave a comment or tweet if you have any questions you would like answered on the podcast. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast. Welcome, everybody, to the podcast. I'm your host, Arlo Syre, and I've got two good friends of mine, actually, here joining me today, which is Binks, who is that's on TikTok. Go check out. Is it Kiku and Alani, or did you change that actually?
I changed it to Kiku the Manokit, but I also have YouTube. Go follow my YouTube, please. I'm poor.
And then we also have Mint Cabbit here, who is a fursuiter who actually is from, well, not from Thunder Howl Studios, but they've got a fursuit from Thunder Howl Studios, so they're part of the Thunder Howl family.
Hello.
All right, so obviously, this is the first recording of the podcast, so in the future, we will be having more people joining us. So, obviously, like I said, as of right now, these two are co-hosts, so you probably will see these two a bit more often in recording sessions. I was originally going to have one of my friends, Steven, who is the one who actually made the intro and the outro for the podcast, be a co-host today, but unfortunately, he was gone on a family vacation. So... all right, so let's get started, actually. So, Mint, I know we kind of talked about it a couple of days ago, but you did go to Megaplex, right?
Yeah.
So, was there really any, interesting stories that you would say, or, like, moments that you had that, I'm trying to think of the right wording here. But, like, was there any moments that kind of, like, stuck out to possible, like, other conventions you've got to? Or did you say that this was your first?
This is my first convention, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Well, what would you say about it?
It was super fun. I only went 2 days because I was babysitting one of the days, but I think it was on the first day. I met loads of people and had a bunch of fun and took a bunch of photos. And later in the night, I went to this Cabbit tournament thing. It was a Cabbit meet and greet, and I met so many people, and I got to meet Sky Cabbit and Aiko Wolf, and we had a Cabbit Alpha battle, fight to the death.
Oh my gosh!
Who's the Alpha Cabbit? I lost, unfortunately. I won round 1.
So who was the Alpha Cabbit?
2. I don't recall his name. I remember what he looks like, but not his name.
I just remember he looks like an enemy to me. But
he looks like a
he was like this red Cabbit with like a leaf hat.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so obviously that was a huge.
I stabbed him with my carrot.
Yeah. So I know that was a huge, and that usually is a pretty huge fur con that a lot of people go to. Binks, I know. Did you go to was it Furry Migration that you went to, or was it Midwest Fur Fest?
It was Furry Migration that I went to in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
How long ago was that? That was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was in 2019 because it didn't happen in 2020 because of the panoramic.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that.
Oh yeah, you can.
We're on the podcast.
It's fine. This YouTube doesn't really care anymore at this point. I'm pretty sure. Plus, it's a new channel. Okay, they're not gonna flip out about making sure that we're like not talking about a pandemic that happened last year. Like. Yeah. So. Yeah.
But a fun story that I had from my first time at the convention. At the time, my fursuit was Rico. It was, oh my god, I was a fursuit. But I was holding it upside down because I was waiting for our parents to come pick us up because, neither of us drove at the time. And I was holding it upside down. Someone walks up to me and they're like, hey, am I supposed to put money in this? And I was like, I mean, you can if you want to because, I'm desperate. And they ran to their car and they gave me $4.30 worth of coins. But it was like a $1 coin, like 3 50-cent coins. It was just like, there was no normal currency in there. It was quite hilarious to me.
What?
It
See,
was so confusing.
See, I'm just laughing because I could just
That's
imagine like that
awesome.
one scene from SpongeBob, but it's you in the box holding your fursuit and going, "Spare change, spare change."
Change.
That's all I could just imagine.
Oh,
Oh my god.
So, but yeah. So, and then
awesome.
obviously, I still haven't personally been to a convention yet, and it's just because every single time that there's been a convention or, just like a small like furry meetup or something like that, it's always been whenever I've been busy with work. And it
Yeah.
sucks
Yeah.
because weekends are usually like the best time that a lot of these events happen, but weekends are usually the most busiest times for me. So I've been wanting to go to a lot of
Yeah.
different furry conventions and stuff like that myself, but it just always happened to land around the time of like, oh, sorry, you have to go to work for 7 hours and run and sweat because you're a freaking waiter at a hot pizza place.
Yeah.
I was like right on the brink. I had just gotten home from a month-long summer vacation in Europe, so I was totally jet lagged. It
Mhm.
was crazy. I was so tired, but I decided to go anyways because, you know.
Yes. Furry convention is always worth it.
Yeah. Well, especially considering it was your first and it was a big one like Megaplex. And then
Yeah.
obviously there was that other recent one that was happening in Texas just or just this last weekend. I'm trying to remember what that one was.
Mm.
I remember because I saw some videos of Thunder Dragon and Suko and all them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was also I think I saw Gremlin there as well, or Worm Soup, which I
Oh.
I I want to know so badly. Maybe there'll be a guest on the show in the future where they came up with the
Yeah.
idea of worm soup. Like
Yeah. Like whenever I think of worm soup, I think of like that one episode of Wildcrats where they just had a bucket of worms. That's like that's the only thing I can think of, but that's because I am a child.
yeah. I mean, I
Mhm.
I watched Wildcrats and even Zaboomafoo. Like that show was
Oh
really
my
good
god, I
too.
missed that show.
Like I know, and I'm pretty sure there's. I found out. I'm not like the only huge furry that like absolutely loved Zaboomafoo. Like, there's a huge amount of other furries that loved watching that show as a kid, and some of them have said like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's part of the reason why I'm a furry is because of that show. Like, it was
I'm
because
pretty sure.
it was like one of the first animal shows that they watched as a kid.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the reason I'm a furry is because of Littlest Pet Shops.
Oh,
Like-
jeez.
Oh yeah, same, definitely.
Like Littlest Pet Shop and My Little Pony is like the two things that are like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
furry.
Mhm. Wait,
I was always obsessed with animals as like a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also I just looked it up. It was Stratosphere. It was the one in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
So, but I remember I think the thing that kind of kickstarted my obsession with like anthro animals and stuff like that was when I was like 5, 6 years old. I used to watch this show called Baby Einsteins, not Little Einsteins, not like the show with like all those little kids in their red rocket ship. Like, it was a show that had like these little animal puppets as like the main part of the show.
Oh.
And it was just like such a simple like, we count to this, or you're learning how to differ like from different shapes and stuff like that. But like I said, I was watching that
Yeah.
all the way until I was like 6, 7 years old. I already knew a lot of this
Oh my
stuff,
gosh.
but I just loved when I was a
Oh
kid.
wow.
It was the tiger puppet that, for whatever reason, I just absolutely loved that character for whatever reason. And then later on,
there was.
I had
Oh my
a
god.
continue,
Hello?
man. Sorry, sorry.
um I had a huge obsession with tigers at one point. Like every Thursday it would be Tiger Thursday. I'd dress up in full head to toe Tiger merch, and like
Oh my gosh.
young, of course, but a lot of people made fun of me for it. But I had fun, and that's all that mattered. So
Yeah.
I'm suddenly trying to
Uh,
imagine Mint Cabbit as a tiger, and I just just a bright lime,
Okay.
or not lime green, but like a tealish green tiger.
So there's this one show that I don't know if anybody else watched, but it was called like Ubi or something, and it was like people with those little like those rings that you put on your fingers that have eyes, and you pretend to like talk with them.
Oh, you just brought back a memory I forgot I had.
That was like my shit. That was oh my god, that was my favorite show.
Jeez.
I watched a
yeah.
lot of like Danish. I watched a lot of Danish kids shows, so I don't know that many like ones in English or something.
Yeah.
I forgot what they're called, but I remember the puppets for them. It was always like puppet shows and stuff.
Mhm. I remember as well, after I was like done watching that show, I think my next biggest thing, and I feel like a lot of furries could probably relate to this as well, is I became a big fan of Sonic, and I still am, in all sincerity. And for my favorite character, and he still is one of my favorite characters, was Tails. And for the longest time, I remember. So there's this one game called Sonic Heroes, and you had to play between. So there was like 3 different classes basically, which was Speed, Power, and Fly. And Sonic was Speed, Tails was Fly, and Knuckles was Power. But when you were Tails as Fly, you had to be so it was Tails would be on the top, Sonic was like in the middle, and Knuckles was on the bottom, like this. They almost was like a totem. And then you would have to carry them around to get to like certain places. But I remember there was these robots that would capture your teammates basically, so you couldn't switch into them.
Oh.
And I would purposely get the Sonic and Knuckles captured just so I could run around as Tails in the level by himself. Just abandon them pretty much. Just like, sorry, you're on your own.
Yeah.
And then from there,
I
I ran into somebody. You probably remember them, Binks. But do you remember Donovan?
Kind of.
He was kind of like the first person that kind of showed me the furry fandom and everything. And I think it was kind of around that point when I kind of realized it, that I was like, oh, well, I think I'm a furry now.
Oh dear. Oh, I'll let you go.
Okay. I think one of the first TV shows I watched was called Andrea a Kite, I think. It was like this puppet show of like this weird looking bird thing. It's really fat. Her name's Andrea. And she had like a cape, and there was a fat frog that named Kai that was like married, I think, to her. And yeah, and that's the first show I remember watching.
Oh my gosh. Kind of going back to the furry convention thing. So when I was at CoreCon, which was my first convention, there was this specific room for furries since it was like a multi-fandom convention, and we went in the furry room, and the main person that was in there was Toast, or Space Toast on YouTube, and I remember he has oh gosh, what's it? Mischief Maker's fursuit. I don't remember. The only thing I thought was, oh my god, is that Madeira? But he wasn't, because he was brown. And we got to be pretty good friends. And then I went to Furry Migration. And I remember I saw him, but he was laying on the floor, feet in the air, no head on. And he was just blackout drunk. It was so hilarious because me and my friend Finn were just standing there kind of like, what are we supposed to do? We wanted to say hi so bad, but he would have been like, yo, what's up? And it was just so weird. But I still think we're friends. I don't know if he remembers me at all, but it was just an experience, honestly.
Space Toast, if you're listening or watching to this podcast, Kiku misses you.
Bitch.
But
Oh my
after
God.
you had said that, I couldn't help but laugh as well because you were like, during the daytime he's toast, but during the nighttime when he's blackout drunk, he's in space at that point. Like he's not space
He's
toast
in
anymore.
space.
He's
Yeah.
just space.
He's not space ghost. He's just space. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Although I remember it wasn't technically a furry convention, but I remember there was this one time I was in Minneapolis, and I think it was the car show that we went to the one time. And I remember seeing somebody wearing a fursuit, but I wasn't a furry at the time, or I didn't really know much about the fandom per se, really.
Yeah.
And so I was just very confused of like why there was somebody walking around with a Dalmatian head on. But I was just thinking it was just a normal mascot of like, maybe it's for like a certain car brand or something like that. And I just kind of shrugged it off until
Yeah.
like 2-3 years later when I started kind of learning about the furry fandom. I just kind of realized like, oh, wait a second.
I used to be in cheerleading a little while ago in
Mhm.
school, and I I was cheering at this one school. I can't remember what it was called. I probably shouldn't say it anyway. But their mascot was like a dog, and I was still a furry at the time. And I remember I was looking at them the entire time, like, "Oh my god, is that a furry? Oh my god, is that a furry?" I was laughing my ass off, and everyone was confused, like, "Why are they laughing?" It was just so. It was funny to me, very funny.
I remember I had never seen a real life fursuiter before Megaplex.
Oh wow.
Like, I live in like a small town, so there's not like people really.
Yeah,
I
get that.
There's one furry who's at my school last year, and I never really became good friends with her. She's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But she wasn't a fursuiter, she was just a furry, you know?
Yeah.
I never really became good friends with her though. It's like the
Uh,
only time I encountered like another furry that I knew was a furry in
Yeah.
real life for Megaplex.
So, also, since you were talking about earlier, about like, oh my gosh, is that a furry? Ew, that type of thing. The
Yeah.
so I found out recently, so if anybody listening to the podcast has been on TikTok or furry side of TikTok, you've probably seen a lot of the fatherless type of comments recently. And I
Oh
found
my
out
god, yeah.
Oh yeah.
from a comment actually on one of my videos because I was curious about it, like what the hell is all of a sudden like are they getting worse? Do we need to check up on them? Like what's going on? And
Yeah.
apparently it's from a song that somebody named Blueface had made. I have no
Oh.
clue who that person is.
Oh.
Like,
Hmm.
and then I kind of realized as well that recently is a lot of these people have been having anime characters wearing Vegeta's green jacket from Dragon Ball Super. And
I noticed that as well.
yeah, and I couldn't help but laugh after I saw it because I sat there and thought back on it and I was like, I remember when I first joined TikTok a little over a year ago now. The first thing I remember seeing a group of haters doing a lot was those monkey profile pictures.
Oh my god. That was also a sign of pedophilia as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It
And
was
then
like
and then after that it was those Woobats from Pokemon. Like
Yeah.
and then they had a phase of wearing that knight's armor a lot to like duet other furries and
yeah.
then threaten them with. I haven't seen any of those in forever now. And it's only
I've
been
seen some furry protectors on.
yeah, I've been seeing those more often now than I've been seeing, people hating on furries. And then all of a sudden, there's just a wave of, you got Ichigo from Bleach wearing Vegeta's green winter jacket saying fatherless. Like, it's just, it's just the funniest
It's so
thing
random.
to me. And then, it's just like, I remember there was a brief moment of time where I actually took a break from TikTok for like a week or two because of how many threats, death threats, not only I was getting, but because of one of my videos blowing up, some of my other friends, like Binks, was also getting some of these threats. And so,
Oh wow.
but after that, and coming back and everything, it was mainly the majority of KAF and what was the other one? Oh yeah, it's
What does
hunting
KAF
season.
mean, by the way?
KAF? Oh, that's kill all furries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's also used for kill all F slur.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, it's either or with the haters,
And that's
Well, I mean,
that's
it's
cold.
kind of hard to
Honestly.
find a straight furry anyways, so it's kind of...
Yeah, I just think
I mean, I know one.
no
I know a
matter
couple, but...
Yeah, same.
I just think no matter what a person thinks, like even if they're like racist, sexist, homophobic, whatever, I don't think death should be wished upon anybody.
Yeah.
Because
agree.
that's just wrong.
Yeah. But yeah,
Like I had someone defending me in my comment section on TikTok one time because someone said fatherless child, whatever, and then they went on a whole rant in my comment section, and then they told the other person that was hating on me to kill themselves, and even I'm like, oh my god, no.
Yeah.
Like just because they're hating on me doesn't mean you have the right to tell them to do something like that, especially because they're also a human being.
Yeah, I remember, and I couldn't help but laugh, though, personally. There was a hate comment that had said something along the lines of, like, honey, go grab my shotgun, or something like that. And it wasn't a very popular video. It was, I mean, it was kind of popular. It was doing better than what most of my videos do. But it wasn't, like, on the craziness scale of, like, distract the furry haters dance thing. But I just remember I had 99 plus notifications, and I was like, oh geez, and it's just all comments, and I was like, what is this? And I go back and I look at the thing saying, honey, go grab my shotgun, followed by 105 replies.
Oh my god.
And they were all just defending me. And I couldn't help but laugh because I was like, I'm so glad that I have a lot of people defending me and everything like that. But I wasn't expecting to come back from work to see this one, like, not even that good of an insult comment being responded that much.
Yeah, that's crazy.
My first video did pretty well, as I would say. And I did the hashtag long horse because my friend was in the background with a horse costume. A long horse costume with like a long neck. So I did the hashtag long horse. And then apparently a lot of furry haters like to binge watch every single long horse video. And then all the comments were like, this isn't long horse. This isn't long horse.
Oh my god.
And I was just like, look in the background and then you'll know. And some people I like messing with people sometimes and they're like, what is that in the back? I'm like, you'll find out.
You'll find out.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people like saying like, ew, what is this? And stuff like that. Even though it's just gonna be on their For You page.
Yeah.
Starting from that one video you looked under long horse.
I always find it absolutely hilarious every time that people comment of like, oh, why is this on my For You page? It's because you're commenting that exact question on every single furry video. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
You're gonna get like you're gonna get you're gonna get stuff like that on your For You page if you keep commenting that. And I remember the most hilarious thing as well was somebody who was giving me a hate comment, and I went to check out their profile. This was during the time where I was like not really necessarily huge on TikTok, but I had like 11K, 12K, something like that. And I just remember looking at this one person's account who had given me a death threat or something like that. And I could tell that it was a kid. I could 100% tell it was a kid. But the funniest thing I found was that they were following me.
No.
And so I sat there just like,
oh my God.
one, you threatened me. You threatened to kill me. 2,
Yeah.
thanks for the follow, I guess. 3,
Yeah.
like you, like, what are you doing?
Like,
You
bruh.
should. Do you know what you're doing?
Must have like
Yeah.
accidentally clicked it or something.
Well, no, because I'm pretty sure that person is still following me.
Oh God.
I
have
just
so
kind of left it because
many.
I was just like, you know what? This is just a mess in itself. You can have
And then
fun.
you'll keep on showing up on his like For You page and stuff.
I'll
And
show
then
up on
he'll
his
just be like,
following page,
"Why?"
and he'll be like, "What is
Yeah,
this?"
yeah. But sometimes people who you're following show up on your For You page. So like, why is it on my For You page so much?
Yeah. I have a few stories of my own from Omegle.
Oh,
Ooh.
jeez.
Oh God. The first one is actually quite nice. One time I met this person, and they were in like the whole Russian gear, like Soviet Russia, all that shit, and they were like, oh, all furries should die. I hate furries. Oh my God. And I was like, furries have actually done a lot more good for everything than a lot of people think they do. Like they donate to charities. They go visit children in hospitals who might be like very sick and might die. They do all of this and that and whatever. And he was like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go spread the good word about furries now. And it's like,
Aww.
you
remember.
literally.
I remember there was this one guy, and I always laugh about it every single time. I was on Omegle because I was bored, and this one guy had pretended to freak out, and he was like, furry, ah. But then he fell backwards out of his chair, and I heard his head hit the floor, and I was laughing so hard at that point. I didn't even hang up. I was just too busy laughing. And then he hung up on me.
God.
And I was just
I would
laughing
be
for a
way
good
too busy
like
laughing too.
10 minutes straight before I hopped back into another call. Like,
Oh my gosh.
and then I also remember I ran into a guy that was in full knight armor, and my first initial reaction was like, "Oh boy, here we go." But then it's how the conversation basically went. Hey, so how you doing? I'm doing good. How about you? I'm doing good. How about you? Yeah, I said I'm doing good. Oh, cool. And then they hung up, and I was just like, "What?" Like, I'm not gonna ask why you're dressed up like that, but okay.
Okay then. You do you, I guess. Like, oh my gosh.
Omegle is. By the way, anybody who's also listening, go to Omegle at your own risk. Like, in all sincerity.
Yeah, because you can get doxxed.
Yeah. You can get
Very
doxxed,
easily.
and also the fact of there are some creeps that are on there. Like, even though it's supposedly moderated, it really isn't that moderated, unfortunately.
I went on it
Yeah.
once and never went on it again. Yeah.
I haven't been
It's
on
just awful.
Omegle for quite a few months now, in all sincerity. Purely just because I haven't had time. Like, in all sincerity. I've been too busy, like, focusing on other stuff that I want to do. And then whenever I do have time, it's during the moments I'm just like, I just want to be by myself. I just want to relax, I don't want to have to deal with
Whenever I have
idiots
time,
right now.
it's at night where all the creeps are out. So
I actually met somebody who they were following me at one point on Omegle, but they didn't recognize with my current fursuit that I have, Arlo. They recognized me from Azriel, my old fursuit.
Oh wow.
And I was just like, holy crap, you're one of the first few people who started following me, because I got Arlo when I was around 2K, 3K, something like that. So it was like one of the first couple of followers that I had, which I found to be nuts.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then we started talking, and we chatted for like a good 2 hours, I think. And then she used to post on TikTok. She's not really posting anymore, but I just remember just having a long chat with them for like the longest time. And they had like a really cool cat fursuit. I'll have to show you guys probably after this, but my god.
There was this one guy that I met on there, and he played the guitar, and he's met like all these like famous guitar people. I don't remember the names of them, but he was like so cool, and then we hung up on each other, and then the next night I went back on Omegle, and he was like the 4th person I got, and I was like, oh my god!
Oh, but
Like, we were just vibing with each other. It was so awesome, honestly.
that is awesome.
There was this
Yeah.
one person I ran into. I forget because he told me what his name was, but I don't remember it. But I'm not gonna say it anyways. And it was the oddest conversation I ever had. So he sat there and he was like, "Oh, are you a furry?" and stuff like that. And I was like, "Well, yeah, I have the furry tag on, but yeah." And he was like, "Okay, so I want to ask you like a couple of questions." And I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe just somebody who's curious about the furry fandom." So I was like, "Cool, I can answer him." And he's like, "So can you identify as a furry?" And I was like, well, I mean, technically, yeah, like you could say that you're a furry.
Yeah.
Like that's you could do that. He's like, "So what if you were in court and they were to ask you what you identify as and you just say a furry? Can you do that?" And I was like, I mean, I guess. And then her next question was, what is your opinion on the furry fandom? So I was like, oh, okay. And I explained that part. And then I also explained the part of like, there are the few that are, there's the not safe for work people who are a part of the furry fandom, but like that's with every fandom. And
Yeah.
and then he sat there and just went, so if back to the court question, if I was to just identify as a furry and only speak in barks, can I do that? And I just
my
kind of sat there
God.
just like, I mean, you probably could, but you're probably gonna be charged as guilty. Like, if you're, I mean, granted, you can plead the 5th, but like, I don't know how the court's gonna feel about you barking at like, were you guilty of murdering this person? And you just respond with bark, bark, bark. Like,
Oh my god.
and
Imagine.
and then all of a sudden he just started making different animal noises towards me. And that's all he was then starting to do. And I just kind of sat
Oh
there
my
just
God.
awkwardly, just like, yeah, I'm just gonna
Just like,
grab my
bark,
mouse
woof, meow.
and just go over to the done. Yes, I'm sure I'm done.
Yeah.
I always just find that absolutely hilarious on Omegle. It's just when you click it, it's like,
There's-
are you sure
There's one
you're
thing I've
done?
learned on Omegle. There's one
Oh.
thing I've learned on Omegle, and that's with Raptor Mask people. They're either super nice and they're like, oh my god, I love your fursuit. Oh my god, I can't wait to get a fursuit. Oh my god. Or they're just screeching at you.
Yeah. I mean,
There is
Yeah.
no in between. It's just, oh my god.
Yeah. Jesus. I remember I ran into this one person who had a dino mask. It was, in all sincerity, it was probably one of the coolest dino masks I've ever seen. The way that they had it painted, it was
Yeah.
like a galaxy type of texture. And then they also had like a dark
Ooh.
purple fur with big purple floppy ears. I just remember being like, oh my gosh, that's
I
so
have
really cool.
loads of Dynamask friends.
And I just
They're
remember
awesome.
being in shock of like, holy cow, that's really good. And they were saying thank you and all this different type of thing. And then all of a sudden, their friend apparently came in. And I just remember the angle I had, the person was sitting, they had the phone like on a desk or a bed or something like that. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, I see this other person with a dino mask run in, dive bomb towards the phone, and then they hung up.
Oh my god.
So it was pretty much like the you died thing from freaking Dark Souls.
Oh my god.
There's this one person on TikTok that I'm friends with. Like, we're friends, but we don't ever like talk.
Yeah,
But-
like a mutual.
Yeah, like a mutual.
Mhm.
And their fursuit is like all decked out, like it looks like they bedazzled it,
Mm.
like
Wow.
like with the gems and stuff, and it was so cool. I think their persona is like a butterfly or something, but it's so freaking cool. I'll have to show you
It's
guys later.
awesome.
But
I was
it's
just about,
just all gemstones all over their mask.
for a second, I was just about to ask if it was a sparkle dog or something like that, but
No.
which, speaking of which, like, I know sparkle dogs are pretty rare, But some of the fursuits that I've seen of them are so cool. Like,
Yes.
I think there was this one fursuit, and I'm pretty sure you both have probably seen it as well. But it's the 3-headed, like, Sparkle Dog fursuit.
Yes.
Yes.
That
Who
is
made
so
Who made the
cool.
Elk Dragon?
Yeah,
Elk Dragon.
Yeah.
it's Elk
I
Dragon.
love Elk Dragon so much.
Same here.
It was honestly like,
gosh.
and I just remember as well when I had seen that fursuit, I was like, can you turn, like, is there enough room in there where you could turn your head and, like, look through the other heads and stuff? Which I'm pretty sure you can't. Like, but
Oh,
I
I
don't
never
know.
thought of that.
But I don't know how you would feel about, like, turning your head sideways to look through a completely different head when the suit looks like you're still
Yeah.
facing forwards. Like,
Yeah.
Have you seen those people who they buy 2 dino masks and they fur them, but they make them so like you can basically snap your neck and it's the other head,
oh, yeah.
or it's like a 2-headed
Oh,
dino
what?
mask. Those are
Yeah.
so cool.
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
They're pretty cool.
I remember seeing one of those on Instagram one day, though one of the few times that I was on there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Did you hear that Telephone is making another fursuit?
Are they really?
Like-
Really? That's
Like,
awesome.
yeah, like a 3.0 of Telephone.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember.
I know Sky Cabbit just made a 3.0.
Yeah, I was about to.
nice.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, I'm pretty sure Sky Cabbit just had like a 3.0 just made recently, or they're making
I
it.
just we just saw it at Megaplex.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure I had heard something about that at one point.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm. Yeah. It had just gotten finished by the time Megaplex came around.
yeah.
Oh wow.
So,
I remember it was like the day before my birthday and we were headed for immigration and we had just finished Kiku on the 7th.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure for immigration that year was like the 8th through oh wait, no, it was like the 7th through the 9th.
Mm.
And me and Finn, my friend, we went on the 8th and the 9th. Where did we go? No, we left early on the 7th, went on the 8th, left on the 9th. And it was pretty fun, but we had like just finished Kiku like the night before. And so I didn't have time to like touch her up or anything, so she was just looking ratchet the entire convention. And I was like so embarrassed, but at the same time it was very fun to see other fursuiters.
Yeah.
And especially seeing all the youths with like dino masks and stuff.
Mm.
Because it's just nice to see younger furries in the fandom who are embracing it instead of just kind of hiding away.
That reminds me, I met this awesome mint ice cream suitor, just like me.
Oh.
And we traded Instagrams, I think, or it was telegrams. Don't remember.
Awesome.
Traded the grams.
That was awesome.
The gram.
Yeah.
All for the gram.
You know, I just realized after I said that sounds like a drug joke, but I'm not trying to make it that way.
Me and Finn, we went to Pride in the Park, I think 2 days ago in downtown Fargo, right? And there was a furry booth there.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
they were selling tails and they had heads up there and it was really cool. They had a Dutch Angel Dragon and I wanted it so bad, but it was just examples of their work so you can buy them. But they were selling tails and I really, really wanted to get one, but I didn't have enough money. But I was not expecting to see a furry thing there. So
that is.
I was planning
furry
on going to a Pride Parade in like September, but it closed due to COVID Delta.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of larger events kind of being canceled or delayed anyways due to the new Delta variant.
Yeah.
But at least from what I've heard anyways, it shouldn't be as bad this time compared to 2020.
Yeah, except it's so easily transmittable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least this time as well, though, like, people kind of know what to do and everything compared to, you know, with 2020, how
and
it just kind of
people are,
dropped.
Yeah, and people, like, vaccinated and stuff.
Yeah.
there was a school in one of the bigger cities around here, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna have a mask requirement this year," and none of the other schools in that area were having a mask requirement, and so I'm not even kidding. Like 50% of the school, like their parents took their kids out of that school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god. Or your child can literally just wear a mask. It's not that big of a deal. Like
the schools in my area, it's optional. They can't force you to wear a mask.
Yeah, same here.
I'm obviously I I had to work at a restaurant with a mask on, so like
yeah,
I'm totally fine with it and stuff like that. Or like I've kind of grown used to it. But the thing that I hated the most was college with the mask. And the only reason why was 2 reasons. One of them was I had one of my classes on the top floor of this building called Old Main. And that building has no AC. Except for the bottom 2 floors. And so you're running up 4 flights of stairs with a mask on in a part of a building that didn't have AC. And then the other thing I did not like was in one specific classroom, but then again, I think it's just because the teacher was boring as hell. It was with the mask on and me breathing through, it would go through like an opening through the top of my mask into my eyes, basically. So I would get much easier like in that class. But that teacher was also like the most boring teacher that I have ever had. And that's saying something because Binks, you know a lot of the teachers that I've had.
Oh god, yeah.
That's how boring they were. They were more boring than them.
Oh my god.
Oh wow. I have this awesome red panda umbrella that I got at Megaplex.
Ooh.
And I was lucky that I bought it because it was raining whenever I went to my car. So it was good that I bought it.
Yeah, when I went to Furry Migration, there were these people there that apparently go to a lot of like bigger cons as well, but they just had inflatable dinosaur suits, and not like the Amazon ones. They had like legitimate good dinosaur suits, and I remember I was at the rave and they were vibing, but then my mom and my friend's mom, they were in like the bar area, you know, because they were bored and they're not furries, but they're at a furry convention. And the dinosaurs went into the bar area, and I remember I was on my mom's Snap story, and I saw it, and it was just them being attacked by giant inflatable dinosaurs, and it was a time, honestly. Furry Migration was pretty chaotic.
See, I can't help but imagine like them being drunk and something, and then they talk about it the next day, and you could 100% could have messed with them and just got like, no, that was just a dream. I'm pretty sure. Like I don't remember that.
Oh my god, that would have been hilarious.
That definitely would have. Just, but yeah, I still really want to go to convention. Obviously, with the Delta variant recently, I don't know when the next one might be, other than possibly Furry Migration, but I can't go to it. Like,
why can't you go to it?
Oh, college.
Oh, really? Because
You
it's on the weekend.
Well, because the way that it is how my work is gonna try to do it is only have me work 1 or 2 days during the college week, and then possibly once or twice on the weekend. So, in other words, I'd be busy on the weekend.
Again,
that makes sense.
You could just ask for time off and be like, "Hey, there's something important going on."
Well, we have a person leaving now, so it's literally gonna be 2 people, or well, technically 2.5, 3 people in the evenings now. So it's
those fuckers are gonna be 2.5 people.
Oh, there's somebody in training.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm saying. That's
really concerned for a second.
That's just a pair of legs.
Just like half a person is there.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so I'm hoping in the future I could get a different job, so I'm not having to be stuck at that job, because that job sucks. That job
Yeah.
legitimately sucks. So because usually like at the end of every night I go back home and I'm freaking almost in pain at times. Like I know Splash saw me the one night.
Yeah.
She picked me up after work. And I have a terrible right ankle because I've injured it multiple times. And after I had gotten back from work and I sat down and I tried to stand back up, I literally fell over because I couldn't stand up.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Because I'm running back and forth on my feet for about 6 hours straight. We don't have breaks there. And so,
Oh.
and plus I walk to and from work. And plus,
Oh my god.
I just do that as well just because it's not that far, like, in all sincerity.
That reminds me of during Megaplex, I actually walked over 7 miles for the first day. I have a tracker on
Mhm.
my Apple Watch that marks how much I've walked, and it was over 7 miles.
Oh my
Jeez.
gosh.
Mm-hmm. And I can barely like walk 3 miles. And without being like, oh my god, I'm so tired.
Yeah. I recently went to Chicago, right? And we did so much walking in Chicago because to take our car out of the like parking building, it would be like an extra $100 to take it out.
Ugh.
And so we walked maybe about a total of 15, 16 miles while we were there, and we were there for 2 days.
Oh wow.
But that's because we had to walk down to Navy Pier from our hotel. And our hotel was like a mile and a half from Navy Pier, and we walked down there and back a few times. So it was really tough on me, if I'm being honest. Like the first day I got a blister, and then we still had to walk to Willis Tower the next day. And oh my god, it was absolute torture, but we had a lot of fun.
So there was obviously this past week, which is the reason why the podcast was delayed. This past week I was watching Splash's Place, and I would walk to work still because
oh my god.
well, the reason why was because nobody that could give me a ride was working. Like it was, of course, it had to land right on the days that they were not working. And I live about a third of a mile away from my work now, maybe a half a mile at most. But where Splash lives is about 2 miles away. So
Yeah.
usually what it takes me to go to work, it takes me like 20 minutes to get to work maybe when I'm walking from my place. It would take about 45 to almost an hour to get from Splash's place to work. And I just remember being absolutely tired when I got to work.
Fam, you could literally just ask me for a ride.
Yeah, I suppose.
I have a grandma.
Well,
Just
I'm
saying.
not at Splash's place anymore. I'm finally back at my own
Well,
place.
yeah.
So, but yeah. What's up? Sorry.
Sorry.
Cut that part out.
I remember, sorry I keep bringing this up, but like at Megaplex, there was this a Thunderhowl had a stand, and they were selling these 2 Cabbits. One was like a brown Cabbit, and one was like this like rainbow Cabbit, and they were like so awesome, and they were like sold like by the 3rd day. They were all sold out already.
Damn.
And I got to take a photo with the people who just bought them, so that was great.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. None of the furry conventions I've gone to so far have had heads up for sale, and I am quite disappointed.
Oh wow, I've seen so many.
I suppose a lot of people were busy over the pandemic, so
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they did have like time to be like, oh, I can finally make fursuits for my stand.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember I had seen this one video of this one fursuiter on TikTok. I believe they're a Manokit. I could be wrong on that. But they had their own little stand, and it was just a single plush donut for $10, and that was it.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was
Oh
that
my
was so
God.
cute.
It was, and then apparently nobody was buying it. So he got
Bruh.
and then just the
Aw.
comment section was just filled with, "What do you mean nobody was buying it? I will drive there the 20 plus hours away that I am just to buy that thing."
Oh my god.
Aw.
But I'm pretty sure it did get sold at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah. All right. Well, I think that's a good way to end the podcast, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good recording session. So, for anybody who's curious of any other social medias that we may have, we have a YouTube channel, a SoundCloud, and a Twitter if you want to ask us Q&A questions. And then also on our YouTube, there is our email account if you also just want to email us some questions if you'd like. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, that wraps things up. Cool.
Woohoo. Woo.
Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, SoundCloud, and on Twitter. And also don't forget to leave a comment or a reply for any questions you may have for the show. And we might even answer it right there on the podcast. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy the podcast and have a good night.